Good evening. So everybody is talking about coronavirus these days, and it has affected as many as 72 countries and thousands have been infected, and a few cases have come up in India and there seems to be some panic there. So looking at it astrologically, let us look at the horoscope of China from where it's sort of perpetrated. So the horoscope of China, the date is 1st of October 1949, 15:15 hours, Beijing, China. This is a Capricorn ascendant horoscope with Moon in the ascendant, a debilitated Mars in the 7th house and Saturn in Leo in the 8th. In Navansh, that is D9, Ketu also moves into Leo. Currently, the dasha running for the horoscope of China is Mercury. Mercury is retrograde in Virgo in the 9th house, moving towards the 8th and moving towards Saturn and Ketu therefore. So this is not a very good dasha as of now. In the Char dasha, China is running Gemini, Leo right now. From Gemini, Capricorn, the ascendant is in the 8th house, and in the last week of March, when Mars joins Saturn over the natal moon in Capricorn, there will be a lot of mayhem in China. So the last week of March onwards, through April, through May, even when Mars moves into Aquarius and makes a direct connection with Saturn, even then. So I would say from the last week of March, April, May, June, and a little further on seem to be difficult for China. Why? Because after Gemini Leo, we'll have Gemini Cancer, Gemini Gemini, and Gemini Gemini is going to be tough. And Gemini Gemini ends on the 1st of October 2020. After that, China runs the dasha, the Char dasha, the Gemini Char dasha of Taurus. From Taurus, both in D1 and D9, Jupiter, the Atmakarak, is in the 8th house, which is not a good sign. So which means there are difficult years ahead for China, for sure. And coronavirus is not stopping now, because the combinations running after the last week of March for China are those of mass deaths. Also, the Yogini Dasha running for the Chinese horoscope right now is Rahu Venus, which is at a 6-8 axis, Shadashtak to each other, again not a good sign, and this continues till the last quarter of 2021. In the Varshfal for 2019-2020 for China, the Varshfal has Saturn and Ketu in the Lagna aspected by Mars. So this definitely is a difficult year. So which means till October 2020 is absolutely difficult, and the difficulty seems to be going beyond that as well. As I mentioned, that the Taurus Dasha, which continues after 1st of October 2020, has Atmakarak Jupiter in the 8th from this dasha, both in D1 and D9. So coronavirus will lead to more deaths in China, great difficulty, and the years ahead seem difficult as well, which involve China's economy, and I will talk about it later. So after China, I will talk a bit on the Tokyo Olympics, because that's round the corner. 24th of July is the opening ceremony for Tokyo Olympics, and while one looks at the horoscope of Japan and also at the horoscope cast for the opening ceremony for Tokyo Olympics, one feels that there seems to be some sort of a hiccup. Countries could be boycotting it, and some games would be dropped. So there's a bit of a obstruction to Tokyo Olympics. So let us look at the horoscope for Japan. The date is 28th April 1952, 23:34 hours, Tokyo, Japan. It is a Dhanu Lagna horoscope. The dasha running is of Mercury, Saturn, Mercury. Mercury is the 10th lord, debilitated in the 4th house. Saturn is in the 10th house. In Trimshamsh, which is D30, Mercury and Saturn are together in Mercury sign of debilitation, Pisces. In D1, the main horoscope, Mercury is conjunct with the 6th and 11th lord Venus. The Surya veedhi horoscope for Japan for 2020 again has a Dhanu Lagna with the Lagna lord in the 2nd house in Capricorn, conjunct with both the malefics Saturn and Mars. The 10th lord Mercury, which is also the 7th lord in this case, is debilitated in the 4th house and is aspected by Saturn, which is also the 3rd lord. So the horoscope again shows a bit of a rough tide for Japan. If one now zeroes into the horoscope for the opening ceremony, and the time is mentioned on the internet as 8 p.m. for 24th July 2020. It is an Aquarius Lagna horoscope with the 10th lord Mars in the 2nd house in Pisces, aspected by Lagna lord Saturn retrograde in the 12th house, that is Capricorn. And from the 12th house Capricorn, retrograde Saturn is aspecting Mars in the 2nd house. So basically the Lagna is hemmed in between two malefics, that's one thing. And the aspect of retrograde Saturn, the 12th lord from the 12th house on the 10th lord Mars, shows some obstruction which could be on account of foreign participation. So perhaps the countries that are participating in Tokyo Olympics, either they drop out in the last moment or there is less participation in Tokyo Olympics. In fact, my Jyotish Guru K.N. Rao sir had mentioned this to an old student of his, a Japanese student, many years ago, that there is going to be some disturbance, obstruction in the Tokyo Olympics 2020. In this particular horoscope, there is also an exchange between the 6th and the 7th lords, that is Sun and Moon, and therefore this entire piece shows that this will not be a smooth ride for Tokyo Olympics. So coming back to India, while there are a few cases of coronavirus and there seems to be a lot of panic and people have stopped going to public places, however, without getting into too many details of the Indian Independence Horoscope of 15th August midnight, I would say that coronavirus, there will be cases, but this is not going to be an epidemic in this country. I mean, there are other worries other than coronavirus for India. The dasha running in the Indian Independence Horoscope is that of Moon Saturn right now, and I have discussed the Indian Independence Horoscope in more detail in some of my previous videos. However, what would cause worry for 2020 is not corona. It will be border skirmishes, conflict at the border, volatility at the border with our neighboring country, Pakistan, and violence within, conflict within, which will have a communal color, and a slump in the economy. Also noteworthy is one point, which is the retrogression of Jupiter. Jupiter would have retrograded into Sagittarius on the 30th of June, and it will be a fallen planet for the Indian Independence Horoscope. Natal Mars in the 2nd house with its 8th aspect on the 9th house, and a fallen Jupiter in the 8th house of Sagittarius, and Saturn retrograding in Capricorn. This will be a volatile combination leading to violence within. And as I said, this violence will have a communal color. And this combination also has the propensity of a natural disaster. 2020 overall is a difficult year. And a lot of people ask me, if this is happening, and you can see this happening, that 2020 is a difficult year, not just for India, for world over, what is it that we can do? I mean, there must be something that we can do. Well, let me also say that when it is a collective destiny that comes into play, we can't, just one individual sitting and praying will not change the destiny of a clan or will not change the destiny of a particular country. That's not possible. But what one can do at this point in time, and I will share the advice of my Jyotish Guru, K.N. Rao sir. There is a beautiful prayer by the name of Narayan Kavach. It can be recited thrice, one for the country, one for the family, one for the self. Stay within the axis of dharma, within the axis of righteous karma. That is important. This is what you can do. This is a manifestation of free will, and that alone will suffice, because whatever else is in the divine scheme of things will happen. One just has to surrender to the divine scheme while one prays selflessly with full devotion. That's all from my side. Thank you.